I saw it in the mail, and I knew God was talking to me. Not just talking to me, but testing me. No, it wasn't a message to go sacrifice my son on a mountaintop or something like that. I feel like a direct call is better for that sort of thing. No, this was more subtle. It was a coupon for a free burrito at Chipotle. Now, you might be thinking, Jewish, free food, what's the test? But there's something you need to understand. I keep kosher. Not just kosher style, which sounds more like some weird sex move than an eating practice. That's just me. No, I'm talking full kosher, separate dishes for meat and milk, labels on everything, no sliced ham getting tossed to me. And not only do I keep strict kosher, I'm a rabbi ordained from an Orthodox institution. Not only can I not eat at a non-kosher restaurant, there's rules about even walking into a non-kosher restaurant, actually. So why didn't I just throw this coupon directly into the recycling? Well, because I wasn't sure that I wanted to keep strict kosher anymore. I wasn't having a crisis of faith about whether or not God existed or whether there was value in Jews having this special dietary restriction. I believe in God and find meaning in keeping kosher. But I was struggling with the cost of keeping such a high level of kosher. None of my friends in DC kept kosher to that degree, and I don't have a family to go home to eat kosher meals with. And I was asking myself, does God really want me eating alone every night? Sad. Sad. Add on to that when I looked around at other Jews who were keeping the strict level of kosher, it seemed that either their Judaism was entirely defined by that, or that they didn't really give much thought to it at all. And neither of those seemed like good options. I didn't want to just keep kosher because it was something that I was used to, but I also didn't want it to distract me from the more fundamental and important elements of my faith. I needed to get rid of this stale, uninspired Judaism that this form of keeping kosher came to represent, and I knew that this free burrito coupon was my ticket to freedom. So off I went. Now, I was standing in front of the Chipotle, but I couldn't just walk right in. If someone from my rabbinical school found out that I was in this Chipotle, I could get retroactively kicked out or something. Not just that, but if there was anyone from the Orthodox community who saw me go into that Chipotle, I would lose my credibility, my standing. I could even be ostracized from that world. And if you're thinking, really, for walking into a Chipotle? Yes, for walking into a Chipotle. And I'm not being paranoid. I had almost gotten caught a few months before that. In a moment of weakness, late one Saturday night, i.e. I was drunk, I walked by a dude Sheenie's, and I was gonna go in, I swear, just to smell the pizza. And as I was going in, a student of mine came out. Rabbi Aaron, what are you doing here? I saw you in the window, and I wanted to say hi. How are you? It was more awkward than that. So no, I wasn't being paranoid. I could not be seen by anyone. So like Moses before he kills the Egyptian, I looked this way and that. No one was to be found. Still, I donned my Newsies-style hat on top of my kippah in a move that I've somehow convinced myself makes me look less Jewish, like how Superman can put on glasses and turns into Clark Kent. So I stealthily walk up to the lady behind the counter, and she says, "How can I help you?" Now, the last time that I was in a Chipotle, I hadn't been in a Chipotle since college. That was actually the last time that I was ever in a non-kosher restaurant. Back then, I didn't keep the strict form of kosher, and I ordered a vegetarian burrito, but I watched as they took the spoon from the pork and then put it into the vegetables and made my vegetarian burrito. And I said, that's it. I need to keep strict kosher. And now, all these years later, here I was, back at a Chipotle, ordering a vegetarian burrito. There was no spoon mixing this time. I got my burrito, and I sat down in some dark corner to eat my scandalous burrito in peace. As I'm holding this burrito, thinking about what this means, what this might mean, the woman who had taken my order sits down right next to me with a burrito of her own and says, I'm on a lunch break. Do you mind if I join you? I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. There are literally 2 people in this entire Chipotle, and she's sitting right next to me. But I also can't be like, no, I want to eat my burrito alone in shame. So I'm like, yeah, of course, of course. She then asked me the first question that anyone asks you, which is, so what do you do? Only for me, this question is not so innocent. I'm here trying to avoid thinking about being a rabbi, not talk with someone about it. So I tell her I'm a teacher, which is technically true. A rabbi is a teacher. She then says, oh, what do you teach? I majored in engineering in college, so for a second, I thought about telling her that I teach engineering, but that was many years ago, and I realized I couldn't keep that lie up. Also, it was a lie, and that's wrong. I thought that then. So I said I teach religion, trying to keep it vague. Oh, what religion? That's when I knew I had to stop running and just accept the fact that here was a messenger from God sent to deliver harsh condemnation about my critical ways, and it's best to just embrace it and get it over with. I teach Judaism, I said. But the harsh condemnation never came. She actually opened up about her own spiritual journey. She told me that she had grown up Baptist but was exploring different religions. She shared with me that she believed that God transcends all religious affiliations and denominations. And she told me that I was the first Jewish person that she had ever talked to. Then she asked me something I really wasn't ready for. She said, would you like to pray? I first thought that she meant like maybe go to church with her, but then I saw that she had held out her hands, palms down, waiting for me. And I was like, here in this Chipotle? You want to pray? She was like, yeah, I want to know how Jews pray. I didn't have the heart to tell her that Jews don't really do spontaneous prayer. We definitely don't hold hands while we pray. And I really couldn't tell her that in the world that I come from, not only do men and women not hold hands when they pray, they sit in separate sections. But this wasn't an Orthodox synagogue. This was a Chipotle. 2 sentences I'm pretty sure have never been said after the other. No, this was uncharted territory, and it called for something new, something improvised. So I grabbed her hands, and I tried to channel my experience in hospital chaplaincy back in rabbinical school, where I would pray with patients at their bedside. Not that Chipotle is anything like a hospital, or that the situations were at all the same. It was the only experience I had with spontaneous prayer. But no inspiration came, and so I just made something up. Honestly, I couldn't tell you exactly what I said. I'm pretty sure I blacked out. Something like thanking God for bringing us together and for the food. I think I threw in the priestly blessing in there somewhere. We hugged each other afterwards, said thank you, and I left the Chipotle smiling. I felt like Jacob after he had woken up from the dream with the angels and the ladder and declares, God was in this place and I did not know. I knew that I had just had some holy encounter, but what did it mean for my eating practice, for my relationship with Orthodoxy, for my future rabbinate? I don't know. Maybe I had just talked to an angel in the form of a Chipotle lady? a Chipotle lady, if you will. I still don't know what any of it means. I just know that God's not going to make any of this easy. Thank you.